Hey guys, Ryan here. And are you sick of your aim just not being what you feel like it should be? Because I promise there's a couple key things you're missing that once you hear them, your aim's gonna change, and that's the whole point of this video. So let's get into it with the first tip I'm gonna talk about, and that's gonna be the power of visualization. If you have made it to this point in the video, I need you to listen up because this is one of the most important tips you'll ever receive about aiming in any video game. In your guys' mental mind eye, we all have this mind eye, we all get these little images in our head, it's on a different scale for every person, but you have to picture where you're gonna aim before you even start aiming. So when you watch this clip, guys, and you watch it the first time before I go back, it's gonna seem simple. It's gonna be like, wow, his centering is really good. He just really, he's aiming where people are. They're running into his bullets. But what you guys don't understand is almost all of this is mental visualization, and it's me picturing what I'm going to do before I even do it. When I know where someone's at, when I just see someone on the mini map, when I get a sound cue, it tells me everything I need to know. I picture it in my brain, and then I capitalize, and then I execute on what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Let's go back to the beginning and let me break down by what I mean. So first things first, I come in and I'm gonna get intel. I know there's 3 people on this squad, but there's a second squad, so I'm gonna be dealing with around 5 to 6 people, and I'm anticipating this because this is key. First things first, always be paying attention to the mini map and focusing on sound, because look what happens here. I see and hear this guy beating down the person to the right. That tells me where to go. But then when I go out here and around the corner and I start plating up, I'm gonna see on the mini map exactly where this guy is shooting at my teammate. And once I see where this dot is and I put together the gun sounds I hear, I know where to pre-aim and how to get a free kill. But not only did it set up that first kill, it told me there was a second guy on the roof and how to play it. If I ran inside, he was going to shoot me through the top window, and by running on the outside, this is going to force him to overexpose himself and have to peek me if he wants to get shots on me. There's 3 things you just have to take advantage of, guys. One is intel that's given to you, and this is going to be your mini map. This is sound, live pings, UAVs. But the next part of this whole visualization thing is your ability to predict things that you don't know, that you don't have intel on, but you're just guessing because you're making an educated guess and you're right. So let's focus on this new clip in the background. You can look at the mini map, you can hear the game audio. There wasn't really audio because audio in the game is terrible. There wasn't anything that really told me this person was going to be running right at me. But what gave it away was the fact that about 10 seconds earlier, there were pings down here. I heard gunshots. The gunshots stopped. I heard game chat of people talking. And what this told me was this. There's people down there and they're probably looting. And there's a good chance that if I don't see them right away when I'm pre-aiming the corner, that they're running down this tunnel you see me in and they're going to be outside somewhere. And then once I make contact and get this first kill, I'm going to use everything I talked about in the first section with the mini map and the sounds and all of that intel to just line up all of these future kills. And that's what people don't get. To find squads, to not be dead to squads all the time, you need to predict where they're at based on the limited intel you have. You're not always going to have a UAV up telling you where people are. You're going to have to keep track of gunshots and UAV pings from 10-15 seconds prior. And then once you have that knowledge and you find the people, then you go into that whole first part of the video where you're focusing on the sounds, the audio, the intel. You're picturing where people are before you ever actually truly know where they're at, and that's how you win the gunfights. But this also deals with my second part, and that's that movement should aid your aim. Now, this is primarily for aim assist reasons, but there's also a second part to it that a lot of people don't do, and it really annoys me. So right now in Warzone, you get more powerful aim assist if you are using your left stick at all in the gunfight. As long as you have 25% input power on your left stick, you're going to get a ton more aim assist. You're going to have way stronger aim, and it's going to feel very sticky. But let me explain where movement should come into this, guys. If you look at a lot of my gunfights, I am going to strafe in the direction of where the person is moving or where my aim needs to go. Rather than force my right stick to do too much work, rather than throwing off my aim assist and all of that, I'm going to allow my movement to take me where my aim needs to go. So if I need to aim a little bit more to the left, well, I'm going to move a little bit to the left. If I need to aim a little bit more to the right, well, I'm going to move a little bit more to the right. And now a lot of people are going to be like, well, yeah, dude, But what you probably don't realize is you can physically move your character to often achieve this, and this is going to give you way better results than if you genuinely try to just force it with the right stick aim. And you're like, well, that means you're just relying on aim assist. Yeah, no, listen guys, this is something I learned from Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Valorant PC games, because you are ruining your aim if you are overcorrecting, because overcorrecting is a massive issue. And by learning to rely on your movement to sometimes put your crosshair where you need to go, you're going to become much better. But if you want this whole movement thing to work, you need to pay attention to my last and third point, and that's that you need to have good eye discipline. This is something I learned directly from actually playing sports in real life, and it applied to every sport. It didn't matter whether I was playing defense on basketball, whether it's catching a pass as a receiver, but your eye discipline was almost everything. People don't understand. If you cannot actively track your opponent with your eyes and you're just spraying and praying, you guys, you aren't going to have the accuracy. Your eyes need to be transfixed on your opponents, but you also need to keep track of your mini map, of your plates. You need to have eye discipline. There can be no wasted time, guys. I really tried to download an eye tracker specifically for this video, but because it was a whole pain and just wasn't working with my setup, because, well, my webcam, yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyways, regardless. But if I were able to show you my eyes and I was comparing them to your eyes, you would notice a massive difference. Where I am looking is pretty much the center of my screen, and then it's the mini map. Center of my screen, mini map. Center of my screen, mini map. But I stare at the mini map when I see in my peripherals red dots or things, or when I get a kill and I know I need to pay attention to it. The other part is I'm always trying to keep the enemies in the center of my screen, because this game has a terrible feature, guys. I mean, look at this map. Ashika, it's dull, it's gray. Right now I'm even indoors. This is probably one of the brightest areas of the whole map, and just think about that, because most of the time, guys, that gray skin of this person I'm fighting, they blend into the backgrounds. And when you're firing a gun and when people have all this crazy movement, it's going to be tough to track people. And this is where, if you're focused on keeping people in the center of your screen, your eyes are actually going to be able to focus on your enemies, and you're going to have a much better time. But now let me explain how everything I just talked about is all connected and has everything to do with each other. Because what you're going to do is you need to visually predict where enemies are before you even get into a fight. And then once you get into a fight, you need to use your mind's eye to picture where your enemies are going to be. So when you get your crosshair, you have the enemy in the center of your screen. This is going to give you good eye discipline. And then by using that eye discipline, you're now going to know exactly where your crosshair is in relation to your enemy. And that's going to allow you to use your movement to strafe where your crosshair needs to go. And your aim is going to be super easy, because you're going to have that nice sticky rotational aim assist for moving your left stick. You're going to have the eye discipline down. You're going to be picturing where the next enemy's coming, so now you know where to pre-aim and center. And I know I just summed up a bunch of complex topics in 8 minutes, but I'm going to start making longer videos, and I'm going to start making some more advanced topics where I really flesh out nuanced details and the little tiny details that I really could cover in 8 minutes, but that's for later on. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a good day. It's been Ryan. Peace.